Hello, beautiful. Welcome to January 4th, 2023. Welcome in the new year. I'm super excited for you guys. This is the year you are going to make some pretty amazing life changes to help you get and stay pregnant this year. So, yay! This is the first group coaching. If you cannot make the group coachings, please email me or ask away in the community. If it's close enough to a live group coaching, I'll just wait for the live group coaching to answer, or most of the time I just answer then and there. Sometimes even making you guys little videos if it's just too big of a question to answer in a text. So I'm going to rant and rave, give everyone a little bit of time to come. And if no one shows up, at least you have something amazing to listen to, if I do say so myself. So I want to talk about today a discovery call, a private discovery call that I just had a few hours ago. And one of the issues that got brought up was that this particular woman had already made changes to her health because she had her gallbladder removed, and she noticed that certain foods weren't working for her. So, she changed diets. So she's used to kind of change, but she got pregnant really easily at 40, and then is dealing with secondary infertility. She's done 6 IUIs, 4 IVFs, and has suffered over, I think, like 7 miscarriages. 1 IVF, quote unquote, got her pregnant, but out of all the fertility treatment, that's how far she got. She miscarried that one. And at the end of our call, she kind of apologized to me in the sense of, like, I could tell she was really overwhelmed. And I said, you don't have to be, sorry. She's like, I believe in you, but what you're telling me is like so far off of what I've been doing the last 4 years that it's hard to believe and hard to have trust in that. And I think that really comes down to having trust in your own body, right? After years of miscarriages and failed treatments and not, staying pregnant naturally, it's really hard to trust that your body actually knows what to do if you give it the right mental, emotional, and physical support to be able to do it. And especially she's 45, so you have that other societal pressure of age included, and it's really hard to have that trust in yourself, have that trust in God, have that trust in the universe, to release and surrender. And if you guys have been here long enough, I'm super honest. That is the quickest and maybe not the easiest way, but the quickest way to get you guys where you need to be, right? We all feel super time poor, so there's no reason and no purpose to beat around the bush. It just doesn't serve you the way it might do in a different situation. Honesty right now will save you months, years, heartache, and financial pressures if you just know the truth. Now, whether or not you connect with that truth or are ready to hear the truth or resonate with the truth is a completely different story. But, the truth is, it takes a minimum amount of time to use a holistic functional approach. And this is only down to Mother Nature, because I cannot make a quality improve quicker than 3 months, right? So let's even just say the moment you decide to work with a functional holistic approach, it's going to take a minimum from that time to see the benefits within the egg quality. Now, the hard truth is, depending on where you are in your fertility, health, or your overall health, really, is that you might need 3 months just to sort out the upstream shit before it can even actually impact the fertility stuff. Because remember, everything happens upstream. You have to improve the penile, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, the thyroid, the adrenals, the liver, the gut, amongst other little things going on in there. And sometimes because we're so hardwired to do things, and depending on where we are in our readiness, in our openness, in our willingness, it might take just a little bit longer. It might take a little bit longer. I mean, with my gut health, I needed more than 3 months. There was no fucking way. Even if I went on a strict paleo diet and had all the right supplementation, it would have taken it like a little bit more than 3 months, maybe 6 months, which isn't in the grand scheme of things that long. If you're comparing, if I would have taken a holistic functional approach, my journey might have been a year, where it was fucking 8 years, right? So sometimes it's like relevant to where we are. And so that's the hard truth. And so that was like, a little bit of a disappointment for her, because I think sometimes you hear, like, you feel like you're super in tune with someone, you're super excited about their message, it's new, it's fresh, it's hopeful. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, no, 6 months. 6 months before you can try IVF again, 6 months before you might see a natural pregnancy. Because reality is, if you're having reoccurring miscarriages, I'm going to tell you to use protection while we support your fertility to get up to a certain baseline. So you might have to not try for 3 months, which is a lot for fucking people. And I get it. I understand it. But these are the hard truths to get you to your ultimate goal a lot quicker, a lot sooner. Because what's happening if you don't use protection and you unfortunately have another miscarriage, as you know, if anyone's dealt with miscarriages before, it kind of pushes you back. You have to give your body time to recover physically, mentally, and emotionally from that. So if you would have taken that 3 months and used protection and then got into a better place, then you're ahead of your time. Because let's say you got pregnant, it's going to take, minimum 2 to 3 to 4 months to really recover from that. And not that I'm saying that you can't get pregnant right after a miscarriage. I know I got pregnant 2 months after my miscarriage. But I must say that I was in a mentally and emotionally very healthy place during that time. I was probably the healthiest that's not true. The healthiest I ever was right before I got pregnant with my IVF baby, and during my IVF baby's pregnancy, because I was so shit scared of losing that pregnancy, because I didn't have the guidance and the support that I needed. I was pretty fucking healthy. And I think that consistency, massively contributed to the natural pregnancy later in my timeline. And just for anyone wondering, and like you're just stumbling onto this story, I got pregnant the first time I ever tried naturally after my IVF baby, due to like multiple different circumstances of breastfeeding, the Zika virus, using medical treatment. We actually never tried naturally after my IVF baby. We knew we were going back for treatment, so we did treatment. I got pregnant, I miscarried, and then the natural trying was on the cards after that. But the very first time that we tried naturally, I got pregnant. So going back to the truth, or like being real and honest, and the truth and the trust within yourself, it can be really scary. Another aspect of this is the surrender, letting go of control. I know that I've talked about this before, but it's always good to touch about it again, is that when you're trying to conceive, you want control over something, over the whole process, whether you're trying naturally and doing all the timing and the temping, or whether you're using IUI or IVF and you have like the journals and the schedules, and you can set your baby's birthday and all that shit, right? That's all control. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but in this conversation, she did mention, she's like, oh, well, when you do IVF, at least you don't have to like, track your cycle. And I had to stop her there. And I said, well, you have regular periods, right? She's like, yeah. I said, well, when you ovulate then, right? She's like, yeah. And I said, then you don't need to track your cycle. And she said, well, I just want to double make sure. I said, yeah, but don't you see that all that pressure it puts on you? It takes the fun, the joy, the excitement, the miracle out of, creating a human being. It sucks all of that out away from you. And the honest truth is, so does IUI and IVF. And I know sometimes it's necessary and needed. And I said, unless you have irregular cycles, I would not track anymore. I would have the confidence. And I know that's really hard, but that is part of the process. And part of what I do in my coaching is help you surrender to the possibilities. And it's really scary and sometimes not fun. But I do think really necessary in some instances. When you're talking about years of infertility and failed treatments and failed cycles and miscarriages, it's really time to tap into, I always, talk about with my one-to-one clients, and I don't know if I've talked about it loads here on the, in the community on these calls or in the podcast, but, and I think I have. But be real honest with yourself right now. Take stock of your life. Take stock of how you're acting on a week-to-week basis. If your child was sat up there looking at you, or your children, would they be like, oh, look at how fun she is. Oh, I cannot wait to be like in her belly. I can't wait to be her child. Look how much fun she has. Look how much joy is in her life. Look at her. Or would they be like, oh, fuck, she's really caught up in that. She's not present. She's really angry. She's bitter. She's jealous. She's sad. Where all these emotions are super valid and they're okay in certain situations. But is that like what you are for most of the time? So really take stock of how you're acting, who you're being, and if your child, because they are, they're watching, would that be the mom that they're waiting to come for? I know we've talked about spirit babies on here. I know we've had Nancy on the podcast. I know it's there's part of the course, a spirit baby section now that you can dive more into. And I know now that my babies were like, sort your shit out. We don't want that body. Your body is too unhealthy for us to come down here. Yeah, we know you can use medical assistance. Yeah, we know you can push it, but we want you to sort it out, not only for us, but so you can help other women as well. And it's really funny because I'm having a lot of people come and say like, oh, you have all these spirit babies around you. Like, are you planning on having any more kids? And like, I'm retired. I'm very grateful for my 2 little boys. It will have to be a second coming of Jesus situation. If there's another child to be in my life, I personally just am done. But I think all those spirit babies are around because we're building so much energy. We're building so much excitement. And these mamas that are coming to me to get my guidance and support, I think there's just this vibration that these kids are like, yeah, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to have a mom that is going to just be so amazing in her own particular way. So that's why I'm really excited for you guys this year, because that's the energy I am bringing. And if you are around, then that's the energy you're receiving. And if you're receiving that, then you're going to bring it, and you're just going to it's just going to spill over. And all these babies waiting to come to this earth are just going to be like, oh, yep, yay, we're so excited. All right, that's my rant. That's my crazy rant today. I hope you guys have a beautiful week, and until next time, bye.